can you talk about some of the typical triggers of anxiety in modern life, maybe social media, work-related stress, and anything else, how that impacts and how that affects anxiety?
Yeah, sure. If we have to talk about the typical trigger factors associated with anxiety disorders nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
is like job dissatisfaction. People are not satisfied but the jobs,
Yeah.
firstly. People are not satisfied with the environmental conditions that they are living in. People do need like bigger houses. Like if I have a like mini car, I have to be like a sedan car. So,
Yeah.
so that this feeling of competition
Hmm.
somewhere has set an example of being an anxiety triggering situations. For example, if I'm not able to sleep at night, what might be going through my mind that I have achieved this goal today, I have to achieve the bigger goal tomorrow.
Hmm.
Okay, maybe this can be act as a eustress for someone, but and for some this can act as a de-stress for some people.
Hmm.
So it is very important to manage all your tasks. Time management is very important. You have to manage your emotions effectively, that what I actually need today and what can be done tomorrow. You have to segregate
Yeah.
your task day by day. Okay, for children, it is very common that they have the exam stress.
Hmm.
Earlier, exam stress would have been considered as a good stress, but now if I have to quote with this, like exam stress, like 80% of children that comes to us first
Hmm.
mention मैम हमें exam stress है और कुछ stress नहीं है हमें exam का stress है. Like they don't want to study because they want to play games, online games all the time, because they have these mobile phones with them. So
Hmm.
mobile phone addiction is very common cause these days. Children spend major time on mobile phones, whether it can be a social media, video games where they can chat with each other, and also they prefer being online rather than going out offline. So
Which is sad. I mean, in
it
a
is very
weird,
sad.
you're in a society where, in a connected world where you're very disconnected, the interaction that you have is all
Yes.
on social media and constantly in the devices. I totally see that around everywhere, which is very
Yes,
alarming.
social media has a very bad impact somewhere on the school going children, on the adolescents. They are they are not aware how these things are impacting them. But in future, if they learn, they will know that they have spent their very crucial time on internet only,
Yeah.
rather than using it effectively for their knowledge, for their purpose, like study purposes, etc. But they are
Hmm.
just spending their times like chatting each other, video calling each other, playing games to each other, and whatever sites they do visit nowadays. So yes, these are the very common factors that also plays important role in provoking a stressful events, and children are not able to cope up with these environmental stressors.
Yeah. And I think also what's adding to this, in addition, is seeking validation from the outside world, from the social media,
Yes,
right? What I'm
yes.
posting, how many likes am I getting? What are people responding? And there are all kinds of responses you get. So how do you deal with them is also extremely important, because you can't take that as you have all kinds of people around everywhere, people who don't even know you, you've not interacted with. And their opinion and their comments or whatever it is, response can trigger so many emotions in you. It can certainly make your day or break your day, so to speak. So very important to be aware of where you set your boundaries and do that. Of course, we'll talk about it later. So how can individuals identify their own triggers? Like, how can I myself identify, okay, this is what is triggering anxiety in me? Because the first thing is to identify what's causing it, if I have to even look for a solution or to address the problem.
So it is very important, firstly, to know what is a red flag event for me. Red flag event, जब हम एक शब्द use करते हैं, when we use this broad term red flag event, it itself says कि alarming event. Red means alarm. Whenever I encounter the situation that is causing a distress to me, that is causing an anxiety, that is provoking my emotion, that can be fear emotions, that can any other emotion that is discomforting to me, will be referred to as a red flag event for the individual. ठीक है. Next comes to how my body is responding. For example, as I mentioned earlier, if I see a lizard, okay, so lizard can be a red flag event for me. And the emotions and the bodily responses that is associated with it, that I might feel fear, I might feel anticipated, my mouth may be dry, I feel tremors, my hands will feel tremors. So these are the associated in physical states, physical या physiological emotions या physiological maybe physiological symptoms that being associated with the fear. And next, how these जो events हैं, these impacting me emotionally. I might feel crying, and मैं रोने लगी हूँ एकदम से. अब I am feeling like aggressive. People might feel aggressive कि अच्छा ऐसे हो गया, अब मैं ऐसे करूंगा, अब ये उस टाइम मेरे साथ कोई नहीं था, अब मैं अपने घर वालों पे चिल्ला रही हूँ पीछे जाके कि आपको मैं बुला रही थी तो आप लोग आ क्यों नहीं रहे थे, है ना. तो देयर आर many other factors that also plays a role. So फिर अब आता है रेड फ्लैग इवेंट हो गया, फिजियोलॉजिकल चेंजेस हो गए, हमने इमोशनल चेंजेस कर लिए, हमारी कॉग्निटिव स्टेट्स क्या थी उस समय. सो ये सब चीजें जो हैं एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये हमें जानना कि हम कैसे रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं सिचुएशन के लिए. जब हम ये समझ जाएंगे, व्हेन वी विल बी एबल टू लर्न दैट हाउ आई रिएक्ट टू द सिचुएशन, वी आवरसेल्व्स गेट टू नो कि हमारा ट्रिगरिंग फैक्टर क्या है. So during the therapeutic sessions, during the counseling sessions, the professional helps you to gain the insight on these triggering factors, on these red flag events. So firstly, if an individual will be aware of his or her red flag events, he himself will work upon the cognitive part with the help of the professional.
Right.